Yeah, my name is Ramaprasanna Chellamuthu, and I work with Microsoft as a developer evangelist. My primary focus this year is to work on Windows 8. So every time when Microsoft releases an operating system, it is an exciting news for me. The reason being, I get to keep my job because every time things change, Microsoft always needs somebody to go and deliver the change to people. So that's how I retain my job. What's truly in it in Windows 8 for you is the opportunity ahead. Jokes apart, we actually have somewhere close to 500 million Windows machines in the world. And that is kind of the single largest platform in the world for the developers. So this is how the overall feature, the market landscape looks like. And with Windows 8, we are predicted to double the number in next 2 years, which technically mean there would be close to 1 billion Windows PCs around the world. What it means for the developers, the entire reach is something what you can leverage to write apps. This is the IDC forecast. I don't know, there's always a debatable statement to believe in the forecast. If you are a believer in the forecast, you can have a look into it. And by 2014, it's the PC's Windows annual sales that typically goes more than 300 million a year. That's the kind of a scale we are looking at. Are we totally too much optimistic about this, the figures and the opportunities? Am I overblowing the facts? Let me tell you what happened with Windows 8. When the top management looked at Windows 8, they felt how much was there a change between a Windows 3.1 and 95? How many worked on Windows 3.1? Okay. What people say is people who played with 3.1 and the 95, they see a vast difference. And it was told that the Windows 8 is that much different between the Windows 7 and the Windows 8. The change is huge. It is a touch-first UI. We cater to multiple form factors and show you what Windows means, what exactly all those features that I told exactly means to you. How many have installed Windows 8 on their machines? Okay, so how many have seen the demos? Well, almost all. So let me cut that short and let me not waste too much of time going to the features of Windows 8. Probably you might have seen it in the presentations for the benefit of others who have not seen. So I'll spend a little moment discussing about the basic features of Windows 8. And then let's look into Windows 8 more from a dev point of view. Okay, we'll try and spend some quality time there. This is what you look at is the new Metro desktop. This is the start screen of Windows 8. And what you obviously notice here is we don't have icons, we have tiles, live tiles. Okay, try to catch this point because you developers are going to create these tiles, and these tiles are super important. And in the evening we are going to spend somewhere close to 20-25 minutes discussing about just the tiles. And as you can see by now, you would notice tiles are not like dumb icons. They are alive. They convey information. They convey toast, notifications. Okay, investing in a great tile is definitely important. And if you kind of see here, I hope people can see it. The screen, at least this font, it should be easy. So I have notifications and badges here. People don't really need to go into the app to consume information. Now this part of the information is presented to people in the tiles itself. Okay, something to notice. Then what you have is the charms bar. When I swipe the right end of the screen, what I get is a charms bar. That's a charms. Okay, where you have a search, shared charms, devices charms, and settings charms, which will expose a few attributes of the operating systems to you. Okay, and there is one more thing which is significant when you speak about the charms is you can even invoke apps here. typically how you run a program in the Windows 7, there would be icons, you click, double click, right? That's the one app entry point. However, with Windows 8, you have multiple entry points into your app. So just watch out, okay? So there is search, I can search, I mean, nothing so magical about it, but yeah, I can search for. So when I click on this, I go into the app in a different place. So watch out, okay? And similarly, this is one place to search music, files, settings, everything. And also you can search into the app. So one more thing, the second charm, which is the share charm, which we would speak in more detail as we go along. The apps don't communicate between themselves. The inter-process communication is different with Windows 8. The apps can't horizontally talk to different apps. Instead, if there is an app, it can sit on top of the operating system, it can talk to the operating system. The way that one app can talk to another would be the shared charm, for which there is something called shared target, shared source. You developers want to write those yourself. Okay? You can configure your app to be a shared charm or a shared source, and the app will act accordingly. Of course, the third charm everybody would know, that's the Windows button as such. Then comes the devices charm. So whenever you add devices to Windows 8, it gets listed in the devices charm. Okay, I can have my music players added to this. I can configure my DLNA TV configured onto the devices charm. So when I go into an app, assume I'm watching a video. The video can be a play to sender, and your DLNA can be a play to receiver. And you can keep watching the videos onto the tablet. And when you're moving away to the living room or to your couch, you can specifically, you can play that video to your DLNA TV and continue the same video onto your DLNA TV while you can keep your tablet aside. So that's about the devices. And as well, I can listen to the music in the speaker in my computer. And assume I want to switch to the headphone. All I want to do is swipe into the charm, go to the devices charm, play it to my headphones. So these are living comforts you get. I'm sure if you would have watched some demos, you would have seen several play to receiver samples and stuff. So the life is much different with tablet and Windows 8. So third thing about Windows 8 is about the app bar. What you get here is the app bar. The app bar is where the commands stay in a Windows 8 app. Okay? So let me go ahead and open another application. So, probably. So I hope I have connectivity. So what do you notice? The app bar comes on demand. And this is called the Chromeless App Experience or Chromeless Browser Experience. You don't have a Chrome which occupies the entire canvas. So the challenge here is, there is a huge challenge for us as developers and designers. Now you have a more real estate to occupy, and almost nowadays all devices are really, really Chromeless. So it's very easy to design a bad app, a bad looking app. So the huge burden falls on to the designers and the developers to write better code and a better design. So now the thing is, the same concept. I just open a window. Internet Explorer. I would open up a few other apps that we at India we created, and we have the entire real estate to play with. And the app bar comes on demand, and the commands stay in the app bar. 3 points. And the last thing that obviously everybody would have debated about when the Windows 8 got released is the old classical desktop. Okay? So you have the Metro desktop, which doesn't mean that, all your Windows 7 apps will run in the classical Windows 7 desktop. And there is an absolute intercompatibility of your old apps, for your old apps. And what in addition you have is the Metro desktop. And that's where, again, just to reiterate, you have Metro tiles, charm bar, search, share charm in that, and you have app bar. Okay? How do you switch between windows in the Metro desktop? Okay. I'm showing the demos, everything in the laptop. Tablet, it would have been a much better experience. Everything what you can do with the touch and gestures, you would be able to do it with the mouse and keyboard. Okay. So and if you want to see all the tabs that's listed in the windows, just take your mouse onto the top left, drag it down. It went into the screen. I get listed everything. Every window gets listed here. And the one cool concept that we introduced with Windows 8 is the semantic zoom. We know about the optical zoom, right? You zoom in pictures and you zoom out pictures. But what we thought was, even the data has a scope to be zoomed in and zoomed out. So that is when we came up with a concept called semantic zoom. I will show you a few of the examples in the app, where when you are experiencing data, there is always a next level, a higher level of data that you can look at. So that's semantic zoom. We have the option, which is in the WinRT, which will let you guys to zoom in and zoom out data. Okay. And if you guys have played with Windows 8, any example where you have observed semantic zoom in any apps? Sorry? Any apps? The build app that came with the Windows 8 in the DP1, the first version of the Windows, that's a perfect example. For example, assume the GIDS right now. We have sessions and tracks, even days. So when I'm looking at today's session, I can always zoom out data and look at the day's overview, multiple days overview and the event overview. So that's semantic zoom out and zoom in. So in here, you again have the semantic zoom. So for example, not every time I would be interested in keep scrolling to see where my app is. If my category is games and the games is at the end, probably what I'll do is zoom in and I can go ahead and access whatever the help API. Okay, this is one way example of semantic zoom. Okay, there are a few apps that we wrote. One in India in my office. Obviously these partners came down and we invested time together and we did this app. One is the Bazaar, which lets you buy. It's a complete e-commerce clothing fashion app. And if you see this app, a little more to speak about this app. This is designed in C#. This is cloud connected. All these services, everything stays in Windows Azure. And we consume services right out of the cloud. Obviously, I can go search. And by the way, this is a complete thin app, so no data is stored in here. Whatever you see live comes from the Azure. And you see this experience, right? It's no more buttons and clicks like your websites. It is much more fast and fluid when you scroll to consume data. I think this is one point where Windows 8 is totally different. Okay? You probably, as a developer, when you write apps, we would request you to rethink about it. Because when we were developing all these apps, we had huge challenges with all the partners. Because everybody were in the website business before, so the way of thinking, the way the design folks thought was different. And here the design guidelines is totally different. Okay? So all this is more like simple and flat and fast and fluid. So that's all about the Windows 8 app. So if you, I have nothing to purchase right here, but anyway, if you are interested, you can go explore more about it. So next is the IceCream app. And I have one more app to show, and then we'll jump into the code. So IceCream is a company which basically are in the video business, and they stream the TV shows. And we stream, this is an app written by both of us. where I can like go into the news, I can check what the news are, and I can play videos and start consuming the video content onto the Windows 8 app. Okay, so all I want to do is just play. We didn't quite add the Play To feature into this app yet, but this is a perfect example to have a Play To feature where I can watch this, and if I want to watch the same video onto the TV, all I can do is I can just play it against my TV, and the video will continue in my television. So there is one thing. Okay, so let me explain to you the search feature here. So I can search into the video. For example, swine flu is something. And it searches, and this search logic is ours, developers, we need to write it. So the thing is, assume this app is running, I went and searched into the app. For example, if this is closed, say, oh, by the way, that's a gesture to close the window. Okay, so I actually, now the app is not running anywhere. Okay, so now if I search, it still gets invoked. You understood what I said about the entry procedure? The gateway to enter into the app is different. So there are a lot of entry points which we will discuss, and I don't know if we'll be able to discuss all, but just remember that it's not a one single point of entry for all the apps. So here it says no result found, okay, whatever. So this goes on. So let me pick up another example called burp. I think it's burp, where we implemented the semantic zoom. Location is Mumbai. So you get the point? So I'm in the nightlife and shopping, and I want to see the next higher level of details. So I zoom out. So the data zoom in, zoom out. This is just one of the examples that you can think about when designing your app. So enough of the tour about the Windows 8 and overall what we did and stuff. So let's get into the business pitch for some time. The thing is, with Windows 8, it's been completely reimagined from the scratch, from the ground up. So start thinking about fast and fluid rather than clicks and buttons and navigation. Okay, and it's about seamlessly getting from one logical segment to another. It's not about drilling down, because in the web world for the last decade we have been used into clicking hyperlinks and getting in. But this is about the fast and fluid, the logical, the easy navigation and not just clicks. So by the way, everything works on touch, works on the keyboard and mouse, and with Windows 8, we made Windows 7 even much better. So the great thing is, the Windows 8 would run not just on x86 and x64, even on ARM. So even ARM systems are supported, and that will be a different flavor of Windows. So which I'm not sure that it would be available in a retail market, but it will be available to the OEMs. Like how you buy today's tablets right out in the store, you can right away go and purchase Windows 8 tablets, and that's how you purchase the ARM version of Windows. So you might have assumed, but because the ARM is extremely power conscious. So basically what we need to write is, we did reinvent a lot of code, rewrote a lot of code to sit and to run on ARM. So this is the kind of demo we already saw. So I don't want to waste a lot of time here, but the UI needs to be responsive. When I said it's fast and fluid, the one single thing I want to share with you and request you to keep it in your mind is, in Windows 8, you have the entire canvas to play around with it. If anything, if user clicks on something and you write or fire a synchronous query to fetch data from the internet, assume, that moment, what will your app do? The app will hang. Don't do that. So async is the way to write Windows 8 apps. Okay? Any kind of a sync operation which will stall your app and which ultimately will give a very bad experience to the user. So make async your primary thinking way when you write Windows 8 apps. And it's touch first, immersive, full screen. You have the entire pixel to pixel, every corner. I mean, you have the entire screen to play around with it. So it's easy to design bad apps. Please make sure you pay extreme special interest and attention to the design. And with Windows 8, it's all about connectivity. I'll show you one of the code where you write like probably 3-4 lines of code, and that will act as a global file picker to pick, starting from photos from the local machine to the picture library to the cloud and SkyDrive. So that's how much we have paid attention to the connected devices segment. So we made a lot of, basically 4 key investments. So one is the Windows runtime. We, like .NET, how .NET is a runtime, we have a separate runtime in Windows 8 called WinRT, which we're going to speak about it in a moment. And the complete new user experience, which we already went through. A new app execution environment. So even the app execution is not going to be the installer and EXEs and MSIs. It's going to be the Apex going forward. And obviously the fourth is, if you're interested in making money, yeah, Windows Store is it's a cool thing to know. How many are really interested in writing an app and putting it on the store? Oh, cool. So on the day 4, I think we have a workshop from our team where they're going to, if you bring your laptop, we can like start, writing some decent apps right on stage. Okay, watch out. And how many already have some kind of apps on Android or iPhone or any other platform? Obviously, Windows Store isn't been released. Oh, fantastic. Cool. So it's going to be the kind of the same kind of a store, but with a better reach. So you have a huge opportunity to go and earn money by writing apps. So this is how the dev environment, dev stack looks like. We have, looked alike, for example, in the past. We have the OS, okay? And obviously you have the Internet Explorer as one component on top of our platform. Win32, everybody would have at least written code on Win32 for sure. And .NET Silverlight. And which in turn, you would have been writing like C# or a VB kind of a code, and those were desktop apps. This is how our ecosystem was before, and this is all we had. Now, what we are introducing is this, the WinRT, where you have the WinRT APIs sitting right on top of the OS services. Okay, there is no layer, emulation, nothing. Actually, WinRT is native. Okay, so, and this is what we have created. And what the next presentation layer would be, the XAML HTML5 CSS. This is the new, and sorry, C++ too. So this is the new way to write Metro-style Windows 8 apps. You can be a C++ developer, C# developer, VB, HTML5, CSS, web developer. Everybody get a chance to write Windows 8 apps. Okay, and in the due course, I would also share with you as to how easy it is for every one of you guys to write apps onto the Windows 8 platform. Okay, and on top of it lies the Metro style app. This is the complete new segment. What you see on the left is completely new. What you can see on the right is something what you have today with Windows 7. Any doubts on this? I'll spend a minute because this is this. If you understand this, it'll be a lot easier. So here, if you understand this, you will get to know what are the choices you have, how does the WinRT reacts, how native is WinRT, and stuff. Yeah? Okay, I'll cover it. I'll cover it in the due course. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Any other that I need to cover? No. With this, with what you have on the left, what you can do is write Metro style apps. But the language choices would be the HTML5, CSS3. If you're a web developer, if you're a old Windows developer, still you can use the XAML. If you're a C++ developer, you still can write. So, but what you have on the left will enable you to write Metro style apps. Okay? Okay, so let me continue. Yeah, last question. No. So this is totally different subsystem. As you can see, it's totally different subsystems. You write desktop apps, you run in desktop. You write Metro style apps, you run in Metro desktop. Okay? Those are not interoperable. Even the Metro style apps can't talk to each other. As I told you, like in Windows 8, you have two segments. One is the classical desktop that will still ship, like the Windows 7 desktop, and the Metro desktop. So everything that runs on Windows 7 will run on Windows 8. There's absolute intercompatibility. Okay, so right now, no, because Windows 7 is a totally different subsystem. The old classical Windows 8 old classical desktop is a different subsystem. So the Metro design guidelines will be applicable only for the Metro side of things. So there is no way that the application, at least not now, that you can run once and run it on multiple desktops. You need to decide, you need to make a choice. For example, look at the Bazaar app. Look at the Bazaar app in the web. You want to take a call, what you need, what is your customer base, because there are going to be like 500 more million tablets around the world, which will be running Windows 8, running Metro desktop. If you want to cover them, I would say that you still want to write an app or in a Metro. And if you want to target the web developers using the old Windows or any other operating system, probably it makes sense to invest on the web. So you better make a choice, and then you enter. So right now it's no. Okay. Yeah? Okay, Windows 6. It's newly for the tablet customers, tablet target, which will emerge to be one of the huge segment. Because think about this, how computers were 10 years back. Think about how it is. Now the ultrabooks. So the world is moving towards the mobility aspect. So what we expect is there'll be a lot of people, so you can target. So think about the current tablet market. It is not nowhere like 3-4 years back, and now it went from 0 to few 100 million. So that is going to be, there is going to be a huge demand, yes. To target them, write differently. To target different people, write differently. No, not right now. Not right now. Because starting from the designing, thinking, forget about designing. Starting from the thought process, you have to think differently. So right now, it's a huge thing. That would be an awesome piece of software if there is a wizard which can convert a desktop app to a Metro style app. I would appreciate it. I understand the world start thinking about it. That's a huge market to do the migration, but it is tough. The thinking needs to be different. So that's when the challenge is. It's not about the technology problem. It's about thinking. It needs to be different. So it's tough. HTML, sorry? Okay. Okay, so one thing to notice is, it's the WinRT here, okay? And you have the choice to choose your language. Either you can choose XAML and C++ XAML, or C# XAML, or VB XAML, or HTML5 CSS, which can run on the Chakra engine on top of WinRT. So you are running in this. You can choose this, or this. So, language choice can be yours, that's all. Of course, right now, yes. This would be different, and yes, this would be different. Totally different, because you would be using WinRT API and JavaScript together here. In there, you'll be running directly on the Internet Explorer, right on the Windows subsystem. So that's where the difference is. It's different. Okay, so there would be still investments in Silverlight, because Silverlight has few stuffs which HTML5 don't satisfy today. So yeah, there is still an investment going on with Microsoft. And to know more, Scott Guthrie's blog on the Silverlight would be the best thing to go read in detail about what happens to Silverlight. But it is there to stay. No. Metro style app is a plugin free model, completely plugin free. Be it Flash, be it Silverlight, it's our own product. We don't support any plugins onto the Metro style apps. Okay? Yeah? Oh. Everybody who will, every OEM, every retail copy that the Windows sold in the market will be with WinRT. So ultimately, the entire system that's going to ship in future will have WinRT. So it's going to be the part of the system. It's not even an extra plugin that you need to install. It is a part of the operating system. No comments right now, but yeah, you can watch out. Sorry? Okay. Okay, so yeah, we'll go into it. So let me pick up. Always people love hello world. Okay, let me write a hello world in C++ and let me write a hello world in C#, okay? And with that, we'll just go ahead and explore the features and IDEs of WinRT, the Windows Visual Studio. So this is Visual Studio 11 beta, and this would be a primary IDE if you want to develop the Metro style apps. It will be the new project. Let me choose the C++ to start with, okay? And as the good nice thing about Microsoft is always it has ready-made templates to get started. I choose the Windows Metro style. But here I can choose to write a grid application like this, which you saw in the C Bazaar and that burp that I have different components and categories that I can navigate. I can choose different templates, whichever I want. But right now I'm going to develop a very basic application, so I'll stick with creating a blank application. So, how many C++ developers here? Okay, quite a few. I might be the most inexperienced in C++ development, I guess, but anyway. So, you just wash through, and if you are the Windows C++ developer, tell me how native you feel, okay? So, this is one change that everybody would notice, because initially, okay. Okay, so this might be something new for you guys. I don't know, so I did something there, I guess. You didn't have a XAML interface for C++ development, correct? So right now, that's one change. So I feel that actually it is a comfort for you, because you have this XAML and expression blend all coming to you for help to design a UI. Because in C++, what I really feel is writing a UI is slightly tougher, but now that's problem solved. And in XAML, and how many of XAML developers have developed something in XAML? Okay. So this is something everybody would know. Name, click, shell, any content. Okay. And click, I'm attaching an event handler. Okay. This is regular XAML. Okay. But I'm writing in C++. Okay. So then I go to the CPP, and here is what my event handler is created. And auto DLG, it's called ref new. Oh, so one sec, sorry. Better? Ref new, Windows. You wouldn't miss the syntax. You wouldn't even miss the C++ syntax. UI, pop-ups, message dialog. So something which I told you, whenever you write an app, please think async. Okay, otherwise it will be a broken app. Oops, sorry. Same syntax, pointers, references, show, async. That's all, basic. Always hello world is easy to write, but this is just for you to give this look and feel. So I went into the XAML editor, I created a button, then I created an event handler, then I'm kind of showing up a message box. Now C++ guys, how comfortable would you be to learn this? how different it is, except that XAML part, I understand. It's everything is a C sharp, I mean C++ syntax, basic app. Okay, so let me give you all a shocker. So how easy or how tough? Yeah, of course, templates get you started easily, but if I want to develop a grid application, metro style grid application using C++, check out the templates that ship with Visual Studio. Okay, so out of the box, I just run, and it's all the CPPs. So this is completely created for you in the template. I have the groups, and I can just keep editing data. I mean, that's what we would be doing on the Friday. We will just like pipe in our data and show you how simple it is to develop such a cool looking app in no time. So I have group headers, and by the way, there is something called snap view. I can run multiple applications. I mean, I can run two applications side by side. Let me be. Okay, so there's one small problem here. The snap view is supported. You can run two applications side by side, even only if you have a resolution more than 1366 768. I think right now I'm in 1024 768. So that's why snap is not supported. Okay. Anyway, so I mean, even that same code, which will actually, which has even the snap supported right inside the code. So, and search almost, the template is very sophisticated to start with. So for us C# developers, same ID, same code apparently. It's just that I want to change the language, metro style, blank. Is it tough to see? You okay? So it's again a blank page. I can add buttons to it. Yeah. So name, same thing, click. Click. Same sophistication that all we have, and okay, so I ran into the designer issue, but that's more pertaining to the Visual Studio. So let me zoom the code. So here, let me have the var is equal to new. So when in C#, I mean C++, I had the C++ syntax, and here is a C#, but pretty much everything remains the same. Okay, dot UI dot pop-ups, message dialog. So again, now the small change. Again, I want to do the async way. Okay, so I want to declare this message async, and I want to call await DLG. There in C++, I use the hyphen code, the bracket, the greater than, sorry, and here it is all dot show async. Pretty much that's all. So let me quickly run the application. Pretty much nothing so special and no attractive UIs, but you get the end-to-end experience, right? And I can develop this in JS. And if you are a JS guy, you might want to know the basic syntax of a JavaScript. And I would say that's all you would need to learn to write the apps onto the metro style using your column. So basically, if you're a web guy, choose the JS HTML5 and use WinRT APIs. There you go. You will be ready with the metro app. If you're a C#, XAML, WinRT onto Windows, there you go, your app. So it's that simple. So and the code, the WinRT is really powerful. We were in the tech ed, and I had a few demonstrations about how powerful is WinRT. It is really, really powerful. So even starting from the code, the simplicity, It is very different. Let me show you last one demo and we'll wrap up. I have like 4 minutes to go. So here's what I'll run the sample first and show you what it does, and I'll show you the lines of code that powers that. So I have this basic app, okay, which has a file picker, nothing else, just a file picker, okay. This gets me into the interface, where I can choose apparently the file starting from my camera to the photos to the SkyDrive. For example, if I want to access the music, I hope you understand what I'm trying to articulate is how connected the Windows 8 system is. And by the way, when I log in with my live ID. And every system I pick up, I can just log in with my live ID. I can be like India, I can use my live, and I can forget my computer, go to US, open up my computer, log in with a live ID, my background, my preferences, everything gets synced onto the cloud. I can watch a video in here before the flight starts. I can like put my machine in standby, go to US, open up the same video app, it will start playing from where I left. That's how much connected. So for example, here I have a live ID and everything is right there for me. So I'll open photos. So my picture library, my SkyDrive, my Facebook, my Flickr, all photos are integrated. If I have a socialite app, the name is changed. I just read it today morning. It is a social networking Facebook app, and I'm reading some articles. Say, for example, in Times of India, I like to share the article. Open up the share charms, click on share. You seamlessly share across different social networking sites. Like how the file picker means that it'll get everything into one place. Likewise, you can put every social networking in one place. You have People Hub where the entire people, your friends, come into the one place. Their tweets, their Facebook, their updates, the videos, their pictures, everything at all one place in the form of a People Hub. So that's about it. And anyway, and just show you the last bit I want to show you is the code. So I had the Windows pop-up message dialog just to confirm yes or no whether to open a file. Then I use the file picker. Okay? I mean, pretty much you can see it yourself. I mean, there's nothing complex. Open file picker. I choose the thumbnail, and I choose the file type filter. Add, which is similarly the same code, apparently the same code. And the only thing would be to call the file picker in an async way. This is the only difference that you need to learn being a C# developer. And there we go. I have my random bitmap. Pick the file, just show it. Basically, this does this. Click me. I can click on the yes. I can click on webcam. Camera. I can open the camera app. Camera app is the target for the file picker. So, and I click OK. You get the point, right? I mean, even I'm able to capture the live picture right from the camera. So all using the file picker. So that's how much connected and sophisticated that is WinRT. Apart from the fact that it sits right on the bare metal, which is a machine, which is super performant. It also gives the developer so much flexibility. Writing a Windows 8 Metro app is what I feel is really, really simple. You can easily learn it. So that's about it for the session, and connect with me for the evening session if you would like to know more about Windows 8. We will continue to talk more about the process lifecycle management and the live tiles and how to program those. Okay, thank you guys.